Hello, Newsweek fans. This is Gary Loss with Newsweek, and I have some important information, just a little bit of an update, but it's an important update that I wanted to share with you. So here we go. If you recall, I reported back in mid August about a step that happened regarding nuclear fusion. And what happened was they were able to produce a fusion explosion from a peppercorn-sized fuel capsule, and it ended up producing 8 times more energy than the facility had ever achieved. Now, this is not nuclear fission. This is fusion. The problem is that even with fusion, which is an awesome way of generating electricity, you have to be able to produce more from your energy source than your energy source actually puts out. Now, this was at a 70% level. And what the idea is to get ignition. Once you get ignition, you start a chain reaction of electrical production, which far exceeds the electricity or the energy you need to create it with. So the whole challenge here has been, how do we create this initial spark that sets the whole thing in motion, thus creating a chain of energy that creates endless supplies of electricity? Okay. Well, the discovery last time that I brought to you was that they were able to get that at 70%. But now they look like they're going to have an even better way of beginning this idea of ignition, this initial burst of energy that starts everything off. And here's what it is: it is a huge, gigantic, superconducting electromagnet. Okay. This one produces a field strength of 20 Tesla, the most powerful field of its kind on Earth. Now, this technology could be the key to spark, and I'll tell you about that in just a moment. But it's a fusion device due in 2025. Notice I didn't say 2035, I said 2025. That's not very far away, folks. It's only 4 years. This device, this spark device, could produce a more energy than it consumes. And once that happens, it's almost limitless what we can do with that in terms of producing energy that is uh, carbon neutral or carbon free, right? And doesn't produce all of the negative problems that come with fission or traditional nuclear energy that we have right now. Now, Spark, you might think it has a really cool name. It actually, this is what the acronym stands for: soonest or smallest private funded, affordable, robust, compact generator. Yeah, I know. Not exactly a sexy acronym, right? But the idea behind the Spark is that once we perfect these things and we can have consistent ignition that's efficient and produces way more energy than it takes to actually start it, we're going to be on the brink of being able to light up the entire earth, so to speak, meaning we will have a consistent, reliable form of energy production with zero carbon emissions and very little in terms of a detrimental waste to the earth. This is huge, absolutely gigantic. And this is a second step in that direction. So this man, Stephen Dean, said the following, and this is being headed up by MIT. So he said, if MIT can do what they are saying, and I have no reason to think that they can't, this is a major step forward. Okay, he's part of an advocacy group called Fusion Power Associates. The reality is that there's not a huge advocacy block of people that are pushing for nuclear energy. It's a small consortium of people. When you think of the green revolution and green energies, you think of wind, solar, you might think of hydrothermal, but there are a lot of companies involved in it and a lot of green advocates that push for those things, which is fine. But we have something that is actually probably better than all those things combined. And if nothing else, can fill in the gap where they leave off, because neither wind nor solar are consistent enough, but nuclear energy is. And so Become a voice for this. Get involved. Speak up for nuclear energy, because with fusion energy, we have the potential to change everything. In fact, the International Atomic Energy Agency said the potential advantages of nuclear fusion energy are manifold, as it represents a long-term, sustainable, economic, and safe energy source for electricity generation. This is a game changer. This is going to change how we create electricity. It could make it very affordable for everyone too. So in this new economy here, and especially with the threat of inflation coming down the pike, this could be a big thing. It's not going to, it's not that it could be a big thing. It will be a big thing if we don't let it die. Now, a lot of people have really negative associations in their mind when they think of nuclear energy. They think of 3 Mile Island, right? That whole thing, that disaster, or even worse, they think of Chernobyl and how awful and icky that was. But that's not the same thing with nuclear fusion. Those kinds of disastrous outcomes aren't likely at all with nuclear fusion. So what did Forbes say? Forbes said that the leading climate scientists say we cannot address climate change without significant nuclear power. This has to be a part of the equation. I know we don't talk about it much, but it has to be part of the equation. And if it's any indication of the favorability, the Biden administration has actually said that leveraging the carbon pollution-free energy provided by existing sources like nuclear and hydropower are part of their plans. Okay, they want to actually spend some money on this. Now, I hope they actually put their money where their mouth is and put the money in the right hands of people such as MIT and other investigators, so that we can harness the brain power to create the electric power of the future. I mean, to me, that's really where we need to put our money is into colleges and think tanks that get these things done. Later, when the technology is in place, then you can start funding companies or subsidizing them partially, maybe through loans. But don't just give your money out to the companies initially. Give it to the colleges, to the universities, and to the think tanks that can get this thing off the ground, so that we have a new component of our economy and we have a carbon-free way of generating electricity, basically in perpetuity. My name is Gary Lawson. I thank you for joining us at newsweed.com, where we are rolling with the times and straining for the truth. Bye-bye.